Hey, Dragon Slayers. Today's video is about how the only person you should ever compare yourself to is your former self. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel out. So, this is something that I'm actually a little surprised that I haven't done a video on earlier because it's very core to my philosophy in life. I actually heard that phrase many years ago, probably more than a decade ago, and it's really stuck with me and it continuously rings in my ears because it's so true, particularly in today's age of social media where everybody's on Instagram and everybody's on TikTok and people live these Hollywood lives, and you have all of these super in shape people that everyone is looking at, and it's like, oh, I don't look like her, or I don't look like him. It can be very psychologically defeating. And so just getting a mantra of that you're not competing with anyone but your own self, right? So the only person that you should ever compare yourself to is your former self. And it stops that cycle of negativity. So you think about, if let's say there's a person out there who is very physically fit, they have different genetics, they have different circumstances, they have had a different lifestyle, different life experiences. I can't compare myself to Ryan Reynolds. We're not the same person. However, I can compare myself today to where I was in my 20s. And you're not going to always realistically get back there, but if in it's more about habit formation. So if in my 20s, I weighed a certain amount, it's not the idea that I'm trying to run back to get to that same weight again, but it is the idea of building healthy habits. I think that today, overall, as a whole person, I am much healthier than I was in my 20s because I have the mindset and the education and the knowledge, and I'm much more well read and studied than I was when I was in my early 20s. So it is a much better place. You're always looking for that little step up, that continual progress. So, for example, if last year you didn't really watch your diet at all, but this year you decided to cut out Coke or like soft drinks, bravo. Like, that's progress. It doesn't matter if your friend has cut out soft drinks and all processed foods. Well, good for him or her, right? It's about you and your individual journey and your individual struggles. Some days are going to be easier than others, some days are going to be harder than others, but you have to learn to forgive yourself and challenge yourself. Absolutely. It's not an excuse to be lazy. It's not an excuse to do nothing, but you also have to be kind to yourself. So if you set a goal and you miss the mark, don't beat yourself up. Just try a little harder next time. Try to make further progress next time. Another phrase that I love that's in keeping with this same theme is the idea that 10 steps forward and 9 steps backwards is still 1 step forward. And that is really the key that I want you guys to remember, is that no one day, unless you take a poison, like an actual poison like arsenic or something, no one day of off eating or poor diet is going to affect you. It just doesn't work that way. It's all about your habits over time. Make sure that you're turning the knob slowly, that you're minimizing your carbohydrates, that you're increasing your activity, that you're increasing your weights and your frequency at which you lift them. And all of those micro increments over time are what are eventually going to lead you to your goal of fully reversing your diabetes or insulin resistance or whatever it is that you're dealing with specifically. So I leave you guys with that message, and I hope that you have a wonderful weekend coming up. I'll be going out of town, but I still plan to keep up my regular cadence to the best of my ability. So that's what I've got for you guys today. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel out. And remember, guys, that together, you and I will slay the dreaded diabetes dragon.